Hi everybody, Big Red here from Colossals, and today we are here to talk to you guys about Colossals. This is the big new book expected from Privateer Press. This is for War Machine, and this is the book that everyone has been ramping up for this whole year that's going to bring out the big, huge, giant units for all of the War Machine factions, the Colossals, and a whole bunch of other new units. So let's just, and rules, and kind of expand the game like a lot of theirs do. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. First things first, we'll do some basics and get them out of the way. Colossals, we have a full color book here, as we expect from Privateer. We have it's a 160-page book. It is a pretty meaty book compared to some of the thinner ones before. It is full color, as you can see here, kind of standard Privateer fare. And let's kind of dive right into it. It comes in soft cover and hard cover, like their other books do, and we will get this thing going. First thing that we're going to get is we'll take a look at the table of contents here, and what we get is this is kind of an interesting book in layout. As you can see here from the table of contents, you're going to get a big chunk of the fluff and creative and narrative writing that we're used to. Privateer on the front, you get about 15 pages of that. That kind of updates you. It picks right up on all the events that happen in Wrath. So all that is going on. Hey, look, it's Karchev. I wonder what happens to him. Just quickly go past that, and then you get what everyone is waiting for. You get a little 4-page section here on the Colossal rules, which is pretty good. So there's everything special that you need to use them. It's a very, very small, tight section, so it's not some big, huge, giant, crazy rule set. So it'll be really, really easy to add these to your normal games. Moving past that, Unbound. So Unbound, it appeared in No Quarter last year. It's got various updates. Unbound is in here completely updated, refactored, and ready to go. And it's a pretty decent section. You get 30 pages of Unbound. So kind of one of the big things that I certainly wasn't expecting in this book was they really give it a lot of good treatment. This is an entirely new way of playing the game. And so here you go. It's specifically designed, as you can see in the crazy pictures here, for you and your buddies to play big, huge games. And are we surprised? I'm certainly not surprised. If you have a miniatures company and your line is expanding, you're making bigger and bigger kits, especially in a type of game like War Machine that's very skirmishy. You wanna provide ways for players to fight bigger battles. Bigger battles means more miniatures. More miniatures means more people are going to be buying your stuff. So, of course, this is kind of the next logical step. You have, all the kind of standard rules of it. It works. It has, alternating battle group activations. It has rules in here for how to do just standard games, where just 1 versus 1. It has rules for how to do setup and deployment for 3-player games, for team games, for multiplayer games, which is very neat. You get formations. This is kind of a cool thing. What formations are if you take groups of certain types of units and you add them to your battle force, you get special abilities, which is kind of cool. So, it rewards you for taking multiples of certain things. And there's a whole page for every faction. I'll just go over one of them as an example. Here's Storm Strider battle engines. Requirement: if the army includes 2 or more, the benefit is when the Storm Strider battle engine makes a D3 roll for its lightning generator, roll 2d3 and discard the lower one. So it's a nice perk, and you get, and there's, ones for chargers, ones for Stormwall Colossals, ones for trencher infantry units. So, all kind of up and down the scale in power. And there's Signar, you get the other, and there's one of those for every book. For every faction. Then you get all the missions, and you get a full tree of 11 missions for kind of basic play. There's a smaller unit if you're doing multiplay, if you're doing more than two players, which is kind of neat. And here's all the missions. So, like I said, it's not just and Unbound's in here and it's 4 or 5 pages. It is an entirely different game. You get your theme forces for your new casters. And then you reach the actual, what everyone is waiting for, the actual faction sections with new units. They're all in here, from Signar all the way down to Mercs. And each one of these, there's been a lot of questions, what's actually in this book. Each faction has 1 Colossal and 1 new Warcaster, and that is it. Those are the new units that are in this book. So as you expect, we use Signar again as our example. You get your pages of story continuation. You get your new guy. In this case, there's Artificer General Nemo, Storm Chaser Adept, Caitlin Finch. Go over that quickly, and then you get the Colossal, and the Colossals definitely get the full lavish treatment. They get the whole page of introduction and background. They get the lavish art. They get all their rules, and then turn the page. Boom, we're on to Menoth. You know, and you just kind of work your way through it. You know, there's Krios and Judicator, Kador, as you would expect. We have Vlad and Conquest. Look at that picture. Good stuff. Crix, as you'd expect. Asphyxius and the Kraken. Go on to Retribution. Retribution brings us Virus and Cavalry and Hyperion. They're colossal. And then finally, last but not least, on the Merc side, we get General Osram and the Galleon. Look at that. So, pretty cool there. Behind that, oh, you also get Alexia, Mistress of the Witchfire. You get into the hobby section behind that, so you get all your nicely painted vintage. You get all the you know, all kind of the nice glamour shots of all the new Colossals. No surprise there. You get painting guides, you get advanced techniques, you get all kinds of advice on how to paint these much larger models that a lot of privateer press customers may not be used to. You know, it's much more like scale modeling. You know, kind of traditional, old school, you know, World War II tanks and that kind of techniques when you're working on such large models as Colossals. Then you get yet another big giant 10 or 15 page background story, and the book ends up with an appendix, which is a very cool thing, of slight tweaks to rules that units have that are actually on their cards. They're tweaked for using Unbound. So, you know, as you'd expect with a game like Unbound and the type of system that War Machine is, every now and then there's going to be something that doesn't quite make sense when you kind of blow it up to make a bigger game. So here's all that you need. It's actually pretty small, and that's it. There we are. That is Colossals. This is going to be available, I believe, in June. And we are looking at a street price of $34.99 for soft cover, $44.99. $34.99 for soft cover, $44.99 for hardcover. 160 pages, full color. This is the hardcover one. And there we go. Colossus. Pick it up at a retailer or e-tailer of your choice. And thanks for visiting, guys. We'll talk to you later.